Hello friend, thanks once again for seeing this video and thanks for stopping by. Your presence here means a lot to me. You always keep me going in this pig farming journey, and I always feel inspired sharing my videos with you and sharing my little knowledge I know about pig farming to you. So today I'm going to share with you some top four mistakes you are likely to make, especially pig farmers. If you're a new pig farmer, 4 mistakes you're likely to make, and they will actually cost you a lot if not noticed in the earlier time. I'm just going to share that with you, the 4 top mistakes. But before that, please consider subscribing if you haven't done that, and turn on the notification bell to be the first to get notified whenever new one is uploaded. This is actually completely about pig farming, so just subscribe and let's get started. All right, so the first mistake you're supposed to encounter, you venture into pig farming with the aim of making money. Yes, and with that you tempted to start with breeders instead of feeders. Breeders, you try to buy male and then female, so you cross them so that you'll be able to get your piglets on time, so your farm will grow at the pace in which you want it. Yes, this is a good idea, but once you don't have any knowledge about pig farming, it is never encouraged that you start with breeders, because you have no knowledge about it. You don't know how to even take care of your pigs, and then now that you'll be crossing them, pregnancy time, you don't know what to do how to protect or how to care for your sow during pregnancy, and even how to even notice delivery date, and then how the following date, the exact date is going to give birth, you don't even know. And you don't even know how to care for piglets, you don't know how to feed piglets, and you don't even know how to care for the mother, the sow, after farrowing. And you are supposed to also care for the ball. You don't know any of this, but you are starting with breeders. That means it will cost you a lot on your way, along the way. Okay, so it's always encouraged that you start with the feeders. Feeders are pigs you buy to test the waters. You just test the water, but you buy 2 feeder pigs, and then you raise them through some either 4 or 5 months, and they're ready for the market, and then you sell them to the market for slaughter. Feeders are actually bred for slaughtering, so you just raise them for 4 months and then you sell to the market to be slaughtered. And not that you are only interested in buying, slaughtering, or selling to the market to slaughter, but you want to learn during that particular short time. Okay, so once you start with the feeders, you'll be able to learn along the way. Feeders, they no more depend on the mother, so you can easily learn along the way with them easily. Okay, all right, so ensure that you start with feeders instead of the breeders. And the second mistake you are likely to make as a new pig farmer is inadequate fencing. Pigs are very strong animals, and if you don't fence them well, it means they will escape the pen and leave. Okay, especially if you're practicing the indoor and then your fence are not strong enough, they will leave, they will escape the wall and then they leave. And this has actually happened to me, and I know how much it costed me to get my pigs back into the pen. I was using a wooden fence, and I did not consider the weight of the pig until one day I woke up and I realized that the pig was not in the pen. I only got to notice that it has broken the wooden wall to escape. So that was when people, I was the only one also with rearing those pigs in my area. So people were noticing me that I've met a particular pig at this side, and I think it is yours. You have to go and then bring it back. So I have to go now, be searching for my pigs and then guarding them back into the pen. And one person, I can't do that. The pig was actually finding it difficult to locate, to come back home. So I had to go with some people. I went with 8 people actually, and they helped me guide the pig from that particular far distance back home. And you know how that is going to be. You turn it this way, it moves to the other side. You turn it this way, it moves to the other side. We did that slowly for hours before we were able to bring the pig back to the pen. So always ensure that you have the right and adequate fencing so that it can accommodate the weight of the pig, so the pig will not be able to escape it. Protection is the best thing to do in your pig pen. Always protect your animals, and fencing is one of the things you can do to protect your animals. You can even use electric fence if you're doing the pastured pork and pig farming. You can use the electric fencing where it will shock the pig if it tries to go near or cross that particular wall, the fence. Okay, so it will tell you that it's a sign that it is not supposed to cross this lane, and so it will always be kept in the pen or in the yard in which you want. But if you are using the block type like mine here, it means you have to ensure that it is strong enough to accommodate the weight of the pig. Definitely pigs will raise their weight and then put their weight on the wall, and if it is not strong enough, that means it is going to break, and once it is broken, your pig will escape. Are you getting it? If it does not even escape also, it is going to, if it is able to break it and then to enter into other pig's pen, that's going to cause fight, especially if it happens to be two bulls. They are going to fight seriously, and before you realize, one is already gone. Yes, one is eliminated by the other. So it's always ensure that your fence is adequate and strong enough to protect your pigs. The third one is also building a pig pen without creating any outlet. We are practicing the block building. You don't have to build like the normal human rooms. It's for a pig, and with time you'll be scrubbing, you'll be washing the place, and you have to make outlets so that water will easily drain through that particular area to move out. You can't always keep your pig there without washing the pen, so it is always good you create the outlet. And behind the outlet, ensure you have a net fitted to sieve anything coming through it. Okay, so you'll be able to get all solid particles back from it, and then to also protect the entry of, or prevent the entry of, external creatures into the pen. Are you getting it? Like small animals, especially if you're located in where mice are common, and then some winged insects are common, they'll move through the outlet. If there's no net fitted at the end of it, they'll move through the outlet and then they'll get into the pen. And you know what that's going to happen. Okay, mice can also transmit some diseases. So if you allow them to enter your pig pen, and usually mice, when they're able to enter there, they'll come to feed with the leftover there, and if they are known to carry any disease, that means they are transmitting it onto the feed, and the next day before you go there to clean it, your pig has already eaten it and is already infected. So always fit a net at the back of it to protect or to prevent the entry of other creatures into the pen, so that you can always have your pig safe in the pen. Are you getting it? Yes. And the fourth one, the last one I'm to share with you today is also about the floor casting. And this is actually for those of us who are cementing our floors, cemented floor. The floor casting, should pay attention to it, else you keep spending money to maintain that particular floor casting. Okay, so you have to ensure that with the floor casting, you have to ensure that there's enough and then sufficient cement in the sand being used. Okay, ensure enough cement so it will be hard enough, stronger, and it will be resistant to the rooting ability of your pig. Pig will always want to look busy, and with that, it begins to use its snout against the floor, trying to root it. So if it is not strong enough, there's no enough cement in it, that means it will easily be able to make holes, okay, through those particular cement, and then get into the sand, the down part of it. Once that is caused, it means you can't actually have a clean pen again, because it has not been able to root down and is able to bring the down soil up. And whenever you try to even wash it, that means the water will run down there, and your place will always look like a mud for your pig, and you always have dirty looking pig in your pen. Are you getting it? So it's always good you ensure cement flooring, adequate cement in terms of casting the floor. Enough cement should be put. This you should alert your contractor before he even start building, to ensure enough cement, but avoid slippery floor. Let him avoid the slippery floor. Ensure enough cement, but it should be rough enough. Okay, enough does not mean you should make it smooth. He should make enough cement, but ensure that the floor is actually slippery to help the pig stand firm and then have a firm grip of the floor. Are you getting it? Yes. So these are some of the mistakes you're actually likely to make on your farm. Not starting with feeders. If you have no experience, you don't start with breeders. You start with the feeders and learn along the way. And fencing should also be the one thing you should consider, if not for the escape of your pigs, for preventing fight, especially if two bulls meet, they're going to fight in the pen. This is due to territorial boundaries. Are you getting it? They are all trying to show dominance in the particular territory, and that will cause fight, and then before you realize, one is already dead. And you should also ensure that you create outlets. It is not a normal human room. This is for pigs. Time to time, you have to wet the place, scrub it, and then wash every dirt, and then pellet off the ground. Okay, and that means if you don't have the outlet, you'll not be able to drain the water easily. And if the pig should also urinate in the floor, on the pen, it means that it will keep stuck there and it's not going to move out. Are you getting it? And there will be mice will be able to enter the pig pen easily because there's no outlet. You've not put any net behind it, so it's always to ensure that if you put in you create the drainage, it means the outlet, it means you have to fit in net behind it to prevent the entry of other creatures from the external environment into the pig pen. Okay, yes, because they can easily spread diseases if they are allowed to enter into the pen, since they will actually find themselves in the feed in which you give your pigs, and before they realize their pig has already eaten the contaminated feed. And also ensure enough cement in terms of casting the floor, so that you don't have to always go to work on it. This one, I am actually struggling with this, and I think I'm able to move past it. Okay, so I don't want you to repeat it. Always tell your contractor that you should ensure enough cement in the flooring. Okay, yes, I'm sure this video has actually helped you. If you know it has actually helped, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, and share with anyone around the world. We are in this business together, and I can't keep anything hidden from you. Okay, so I always help you, and then we help each other. You inspire me, I inspire you, and you can leave your questions in the comment section below. I'll answer you, and we keep moving as a family. I love to